done videos on the best high yield savings accounts and the worst banks that you should totally avoid. So I thought in this video, I'm going to be covering the best checking accounts that actually work out in your favor. Let's do it. Okay, so before we get into the list, you're actually going to want to take a look at the criteria in order to figure out what a good checking account should offer. So there's really 8 things that I look at. First, you want to avoid any monthly maintenance fees. No monthly maintenance fees whatsoever for your checking account. Next, you want to have no minimum balance requirements. And if there is a minimum balance requirement, make sure that you can consistently hit that every single month and sometimes every single day in order to hit those requirements in order to avoid those monthly maintenance fees. I also look to make sure that that bank has a mobile app so that I can access my accounts on the go. Next, you want to make sure that you have mobile deposit access so that you can take pictures of physical checks and deposit them easily without having to go into a physical location. Also, you want to make sure that it connects to external bank accounts so that you can easily move money over into various savings accounts with different banks if you need to. It goes without saying that you'll also want to make sure that your checking account is FDIC insured in case anything were to happen. And if you've been following the news lately, there have been several bank failures recently being announced. You also want to make sure that you have ATM access in case you need to pull out cash for your trip to Vegas. I don't know, maybe you need dollars for Las Vegas, whatever it may be. Having cash on hand is always nice, and you work with a bank that has reimbursable fees for those ATMs. And lastly, if you can get a checking account that actually is interest bearing, meaning that you earn interest on that checking account, it's even better. So let's go ahead and hop into the list. You know I was gonna talk about Ally Bank. So Ally Bank is the very first checking account that I'm going to be featuring here because I love that they have no monthly maintenance fees or overdraft fees. Also, they say they will reimburse up to $10 per statement cycle for any ATM fees for ATM withdrawals, and they use all point ATMs, which are literally everywhere. Also, they have early direct deposit. I've noticed that a lot of checking accounts lately are offering early direct deposit for those with W-2 income earners who have paychecks being automatically deposited into their checking account. You can access that money up to 2 days earlier. A lot of them, actually I think almost all of them, offer that in this list. And then you get overdraft protection here. By the way, you know that I'm a huge fan of the Ally high yield savings accounts. I have multiple savings accounts with Ally, and I think just pairing that up with their checking account feature is just so beneficial. You also get to have a debit card with this, FDIC insured, and then you can deposit those checks remotely with the e-check deposit through the app. The next one is the 360 checking account with Capital One. What I love about this is it's mobile banking 24/7, no fees to open, keep, and use, plus you get access to 70,000 fee-free ATMs. Also, I do have a high yield savings account with Capital One that I really like. It's no frills, no thrills, no bells and whistles. It's just very simple, and so you're going to see that their checking account is pretty much the same thing. If you get a little confused with banking products and features, this might be the way to go. I personally love using Ally Bank because it has a little bit more features, especially with the high yield savings accounts where you're accessing those savings buckets. But I find that the 360 checking, this just makes sense. Again, the get paid early, up to 2 days early, overdraft protection, you can move money easily. And a lot of these options too that I was finding is that you can send cash with Zelle. So Capital One does have a partnership with Zelle in which you can either pay bills or send money through that app. The next one that I saw, especially for our military members, but you don't actually necessarily have to be military. You can access the Navy Federal Credit Union checking accounts and have a debit card, and then they're going to actually kind of do this whole quiz to figure out what is included or what checking account would work best for you. So included in all of their checking accounts, no monthly service fee with dividends credited monthly. Dividends, you might ask, what is that? It's an interest-bearing checking account in which it pays you interest for the money that you keep in your checking account. So there's a couple of different options here with Navy Fed. So you have the free active duty checking. If you are active duty or a veteran, you can use this checking account. They actually pay 0.05% APY on that money, which is unheard of. Usually, like, you don't get paid any interest on checking accounts. So ATM fee rebates, no monthly service fees, no minimum balance requirements. Free easy checking also is, let's see, everything you pay, bills, blah, blah, blah. Account requires qualifying direct deposit for that. Free campus checking for people between the ages of 14 and 24. Free everyday checking, includes all their standard benefits. Fee-free account, no monthly service fees. Flagship checking. This is the one that caught my eye, and I think one that you really want to pay attention to. There is a caveat here. First thing though with the flagship checking is that you are going to get a really high interest rate on that money. And I say really high, you're like 0.35%, Justine. That's like nothing, I know, compared to what you would get in a high yield savings account, which are currently earning over 3%. Yeah, this is nothing. But when we're talking about moving money in and out of the checking account almost every day and at least every week, this is something that you want to consider. The only thing here is that the dividends are tiered based on your balance. So you have to have a daily balance ending of at least $1,500. Now, if you're a high income earner and you're used to having a cushion of cash in your checking account, I think this is going to be really easy for you to maintain. Normally, I don't like to see these types of balance requirements, but again, if you're a high income earner, you're used to keeping a cushion of at least 1 to 1.5 months times your monthly expenses, I think this is really doable. Plus, they have the ATM fee rebates, no monthly service fees if your average daily balance is $1,500 or more. Again, they're adding in those requirements because they are paying out more interest in this, which is what I love about the Navy Fed flagship checking. Let's hop over into something completely different. So I feel like Navy Fed is very traditional because they have the physical branches and locations. Let's take a look at Chime, which is completely app-based. So if you're a techie, you're tech savvy, you love having mobile banking and personal finance apps on your phone, Chime is definitely one to check out. So it's a checking account with no monthly fees. You can also access cash from over 60,000 fee-free ATMs. I love this. Let's check out their features. So we get no overdraft fees, fee-free overdraft up to $200. You get paid early with getting your paycheck up to 2 days early, and you get a Chime Visa debit card included. So I love that they're actually giving you the physical cards so that you can pay for things as needed. And then debit card security, very, very nice. And then it's just very simple. That's what I really like about Chime. It comes with a debit card. This app was literally built for tech savvy people in mind. And so you can kind of see the screenshot of how things are listed inside of the app. And then you could go over to the high yield savings account and connect those two things and it's only earning a 2% APY on cash, but it would be easy for you to do kind of those automatic savings features by pulling it over. So there you go. I think if you're going to go app-based, Chime is definitely worth checking out. The next one is with CIT Bank. CIT Bank has popped up on my list and in my scope every single time I do a bank review of either savings or checking accounts. And so while I have not personally used them before, I really think this is one that you should consider because I consistently see them on best lists rankings on the web. So with the e-checking account, you can earn some interest here on balances under 25K, 0.1%. Not as good as that flagship checking with Navy Fed, but still, I'll take that better than zero. If anybody has over 25K in a checking account, you're doing it wrong. So don't even look at that. 0.25% with 25K minimum balance. No, that 25K should really be in a high yield savings account. So this is kind of what I'm more interested in. And I like that they have that as a feature. So they also have a debit card. They also work with Zelle so that you can do payments and transfers really quickly. They don't charge ATM fees. Love that. Deposit checks and make unlimited withdrawal and disbursements through the mobile app. Again, it has a mobile app if you're into that as well. No monthly fees, no overdraft fees, no fees for us to mail a check for you. Wow. Thank you. And American Banker named them #1 in delivering the most humanized experience in banking. I love to see that this is a recent award for best customer experience. That is 100% what you want from a bank. We are talking about your livelihood and your finances, and you want to work with a trusted partner who has your back, and that's why I feel CIT Bank definitely makes this list and one that you should check out. Now, through my one-on-one budget coaching program, Budget Bootcamp, I have worked with individuals and millennials who have been banking with banks who are charging them monthly fees for their checking account. In fact, I was working with one client who told me that she just discovered that she was being charged $8 per month just by having a checking account with that bank. Now you're like, $8, okay, come on guys. $8 is definitely enough to buy a Starbucks. $8 in the year is $96. I could go out for a really nice dinner for $96. You really need to start changing your mindset of how you're viewing these fees and where else you could put that money. If you are currently being charged a monthly maintenance fees for your checking account, get out immediately. Check out one of the checking accounts that I mentioned with these banks. Who are you banking with currently? If you're willing to share, leave a comment below. If you like this video, make sure that you are subscribed to the Debt Free Millennials YouTube channel. I have a goal of crushing and reaching 100,000 subscribers, and we are so close to that. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'll catch you in the next video.